Will Ospreay is teasing a massive WWE feud, and it's one that goes back several years, and honestly, I would love to see it happen. But I'm also realistic in the sense that it's probably not going to happen. I mean, you never know. In wrestling, you say never, but you guys will know what I mean. This is a tweet that Will Ospreay posted in response to the WWE when Seth Rollins defended his World Heavyweight Championship successfully. And as you scroll down, Seth Rollins, causing quite a bit of a Twitter storm, he responds with, "The water is warm." The initial tweet is the eyeball emoji. Everybody's talking about Will Ospreay, and it makes a lot of sense. This is his big contract year. This is when he's expected to get a massive contract. And I think Will Ospreay is playing his cards right. Now, the reason why I love this tweet and this Twitter exchange is because of multitude of reasons. But it's always nice living in fantasy land in the world of pro wrestling. Undertaker versus Sting never happened, but everybody always wonders what if. And that's kind of how I feel with Will Ospreay. Let me be pretty clear. I think Will Ospreay is likely signing with AEW, and I don't see an issue with it. I've talked about this on previous videos here on the More Ango channel. I've said Will Ospreay joining TNA would be best for business, which I wholeheartedly agree. I think TNA can use a guy to wave the company flag and be their top guy. WWE has Roman, AEW has Kenny. TNA needs that person. It will change the game for TNA. From a business perspective, Will Ospreay joining TNA would be my most ideal situation. But with that scenario, we have to talk about this tweet. Because what Will Ospreay is doing is getting people talking. He's getting people talking when knowing damn well around the corner in just a few months, he could potentially be leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling. But remember, I said something about Fantasyland. Undertaker and Sting, people always wonder what if. For some reason, people think that Will Ospreay would not succeed in WWE. And I don't think that's a fair criticism for Will Ospreay. I don't. I genuinely do not believe that. Forget about Triple H, forget about Tony Khan, forget about Scott D'Amore. Let's forget about booking. We're not going to sit here and play this game on the internet where we talk about, oh, well, they're going to bury him. They're going to book him like shit. Take that out of the equation, okay? Let's not focus on booking. Wrestling is subjective. Tony Khan could book great. Triple H could book great. Scott D'Amore could book great. But to somebody, they might not be pleased with one of the three shows, right? In my opinion, Will Ospreay joining WWE is always going to be a big question mark because on the internet, there has been this thing where people have said time and time again that Will Ospreay would be a failure in the WWE. They said that he doesn't mesh with WWE's style. They say that Will Ospreay lacks character. They say that Will Ospreay does not have what it takes to be in the WWE. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think Will Ospreay is talented. I think he's actually really good with character work. And I think he's actually pretty freaking awesome on the mic. Yes, he is an extraordinary performer in the ring. And I understand that people see that that's not a big focus in the WWE. But if we take booking out of the equation for this hypothetical scenario, I really can't see Will Ospreay failing in WWE. I think he would go into WWE being able to put on great matches, obviously, but I think he has the abilities from a character perspective that would pretty much elevate him to the top of the card. Now, I'm not talking about Will Ospreay versus Roman Reigns. Hell, that could be a freaking awesome match too, to be honest. But I look at Will Ospreay as a member of the WWE Raw roster, where they need somebody to be the World Heavyweight Champion, where they need somebody to put on great matches with Gunther and Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes. There's a long list of talent on WWE Raw who can have those fantastic matches on WWE Raw, and some of those matches can also have a great story, and yet for some reason people are discounting Will Ospreay's ability to conform to that style. I don't think Will Ospreay going to WWE would be a bad thing, nor do I think it would be a bad thing for him to go to AEW. nor do I think it would be a bad thing for him to go to TNA. But I'm always going to have that question mark because for so many years I've been told by people that he would never fit WWE. I almost want to see him go to WWE for that reason. Him putting out these tweets just kind of ignite that fantasy land thing, right? It's like that booking thing. It's like that, like it's the biggest what if, like what would happen? And I've actually had the same thought about another individual who ended up going to WWE, and that was AJ Styles. I was always wondering, how would they change AJ Styles, the guy that I used to love watching on TNA? And it turned out that AJ right away was presented as a big deal. So I kind of get the same vibe from Will Ospreay. The tweet just ignites that. I think Will Ospreay is doing what any potential top free agent should do. Will Ospreay is talking very publicly about TNA and his experience with Impact Wrestling, and overall how excited he was about competing there. He's been very vocal as of late about potentially having options and moving to the United States. And then you also hear what he says about AEW and how he likes it. So the thing is, from a wrestling standpoint, if I was picking where I want Will Ospreay, of course I would pick TNA because it helps legitimize TNA, especially with this new era that they're going to be kickstarting. But I also love the idea of Will Ospreay going to WWE because it answers unanswered questions. I also like the idea of him going to AEW full time. This is huge, but this tweet has people talking. Now, does WWE have a legitimate chance of signing Will Ospreay? I don't know. I don't know what their interest level truly is. And I don't know if Will Ospreay would seriously consider it, despite the fact in the past he said he would never do it. He wouldn't move to the United States. Now it's a little bit different. He's being vocal about being willing to do it. Now, is he being vocal about it because he's trying to get the bag? Could be a good negotiating tactic, but I love it. And I love the tweet, and I love the fact that Seth Rollins responded. Quite honestly, I was actually happy that Seth responded. The real ones who follow the internet stuff know that Will Ospreay and Seth Rollins had a back and forth in the past, and it always seemed a little bit weird, you know? It always was a big what if. What happens if they were to wrestle each other in WWE? But it goes beyond Seth, right? It goes into the realm of these other guys that are there. And there's a lot of matchups that he can have within all of these companies. And I like that. But I think from a character perspective, I think he'd be great. I think he would be awesome to watch, regardless of where he goes. I think a lot of people are kind of discrediting him, and I don't like that. But again, if you guys want me to say this a million more times, I will. From a wrestling business, from the industry standpoint, Will Ospreay should go to TNA. Let's not talk about money. Let's not talk about ratings. Let's not talk about anything other than just like overall business. He would change the game for TNA. But I love the tweet. What do you guys think?